So I'm realizing I kind of just jumped into no BS mentality and teaching this mindset without really introducing what it is, what its purpose is, and what I want out of you guys. So I decided to take some time and I mapped out to the best of my ability what no BS mentality is supposed to be and what its foundation is. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get into that, I want to introduce myself. I want there to be no questions about who I am, what I'm about, and I don't want to accidentally create a false image to any of you guys. So first things first, I want to make it clear. I'm not a multimillionaire yet, and I'm not a perfect man. Here's what I am. I'm a 22-year-old entrepreneur who currently works in sales, who spent the last 22 years of his life discovering everything that I do not want to be. At one point, I was exactly the kind of man that I'm trying to teach you guys not to be, and I was doing all of the things that I'm currently trying to teach you guys not to do. And while I did have some above average traits and very ambitious goals, I would say it wasn't until about 6 months ago that I really woke up to what it was going to really take to achieve those. So I spent the last 6 months learning and developing a mindset that I believe is going to lead me to where I want to be. The mindset that enabled me to create no BS mentality. And now I want to teach that mindset to you guys. So without further ado, let's talk about what no BS mentality is. What is no BS mentality? No BS mentality is not a finished product. No BS represents growth. It is something that is going to change and adapt as I grow and as you guys grow. The purpose of no BS mentality is to create a brotherhood of young, ambitious men who want to grow in unison, to create a community of growth. Everyone wants to hop in front of the camera after they've made it. I'm willing to hop in front of the camera before I've made it and be the person that's willing to lead from the trenches, okay? I want to create a community where we can learn together, where we can build together, and we can evolve into exceptional men together. A community where we can share our struggles so that we know we're not alone. A community where we can share our accomplishments, where instead of being responded to with jealousy, we get responded to with pride because we know that if our brothers can do it, then so can we. All right, let's talk about the core principles of the no BS mentality, starting with identity. Most young men are focused on changing their results. They want more money, a better body, more confidence, and more success. But results are a byproduct of identity. The real question is, who are you becoming? Every action you take is a vote for the type of man you are becoming. If your identity is weak, discipline is impossible, you constantly seek validation, and you chase temporary pleasure instead of long-term growth. No BS mentality is built around strengthening 6 core pillars of identity: discipline, honesty, masculinity, respect, accountability, and no more cheap dopamine. All right, let's talk about these 6 pillars of identity real quick, starting with discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Most people are controlled by their emotions. Disciplined men are controlled by their standards. You don't go to the gym because you feel motivated. You go because that's who you are, right? You don't work on your goals when it's convenient. You work on them because you made a commitment to yourself, okay? Discipline creates freedom. More cheap dopamine. Most young men are overstimulated and underdeveloped, right? Infinite scrolling, porn, constant entertainment, instant gratification, right? Your brain becomes addicted to easy rewards. The problem isn't that these things are enjoyable. The problem is that you train your brain to seek comfort instead of achievement. The men who get ahead learn how to delay gratification. They stop asking what feels good right now. They start asking what's going to make me proud a year from now. All right, next, accountability. Most people blame, few people take ownership. The moment you stop blaming others for your circumstances and start taking ownership for your life is the moment your life changes. Accountability is power because if everything is someone else's fault, then you can never fix it. All right, respect. Respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned. People respect men who are competent, men who follow through, and men who stand by their values. The fastest way to gain respect is to become someone who does exactly what he says he's going to do. All right, next, masculinity. Masculinity isn't aggression, and it isn't pretending to be tough. Masculinity is responsibility. It's protecting people you care about, keeping your word, controlling your emotions, and leading when things get difficult, all right? A masculine man becomes a source of stability. All right, lastly, we got honesty. The most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have with yourself. You know when you're making excuses, you know when you're avoiding work, you know when you're settling, all right? Honesty creates awareness, and awareness creates change. All right, the next core principle of the no BS mentality is reversing modern norms. Okay, most people spend their 20s doing what everyone else is doing, right? Partying every weekend, seeking approval, trying to fit in, avoiding risk, choosing comfort, right? Then they wake up at 30 wondering where the time went. The truth is, average behavior creates average results. No BS mentality reverses that ideology, okay? Your 20s are not for playing it safe. Your 20s are your greatest opportunity to build, all right? This is the decade where you take risks, okay? You develop discipline, you build your physique, you learn valuable skills, all right? You create businesses, you establish momentum, okay? You can either spend your 20s entertaining yourself or you can spend your 20s creating a future version of yourself that you will be proud of. The next core principle of the no BS mentality is the 3 to 5 year challenge. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in a month, but they completely underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years. Imagine 5 years of consistent training, learning sales, building a business, learning, investing, improving your network. You would become almost unrecognizable. The problem is most people give up after like 6 months. No BS mentality is built around one simple idea: stay focused long enough for your results to arrive. 3 to 5 years of intentional effort can completely change your body, your finances, your confidence, your opportunities, and your identity. Most people never even give themselves enough time to win. Moving on to the last two core principles of the no BS mentality. Two areas expose the truth about a man's habits more than anything else: his body and his finances. Your body reflects your standards. A strong body isn't about vanity, it's about capability. Can you endure discomfort? Can you stay consistent? Can you keep promises to yourself? The gym is one of the greatest teachers a man will ever have because the results cannot be faked. Money isn't everything, but financial freedom creates options. It creates freedom, security, and opportunity. A man should not be ashamed of wanting financial success. The goal is not greed. The goal is building a life where you are no longer controlled by money. The modern world rewards skill. The more valuable you become, the more options appear. That's why every young man should actively pursue high income skills: entrepreneurship, sales, communication, leadership, and problem solving. Not because money is the goal, but because capability is the goal. No BS mentality isn't about becoming rich. It's not about getting shredded, and it's not about looking successful online. It's about becoming the kind of man who can handle responsibility, create opportunities, and build a life on his own terms. Most men spend years waiting for motivation. We're building men who rely on standards. The next 3 to 5 years are going to pass regardless. The only question is, who will you become by the time that they do?